England midfielder out of training with illness just 3 days before World Cup. Declan Rice, England midfielder out of training with illness just 3 days before World Cup quarter-final with France. Declan Rice, England midfielder out of training with illness just 3 days before World Cup quarter-final with France. England take on France in the World Cup quarter-final in Qatar on Saturday. Declan Rice missed training on Wednesday due to illness, just 3 days before the match. Callum Wilson is yet to return to training after picking up a minor strain. The midfielder has started every game for Gareth Southgate's side at a tournament so far, but was absent from the group that took part in training on Wednesday. Striker Callum Wilson has yet to return to training after picking up a muscle problem following the last 16 win over Senegal. Overall, 22 players trained for England on Wednesday ahead of Saturday's last-day clash with the reigning World Cup champions. Raheem Sterling and Ben White are still absent after returning to the UK for personal reasons. The former traveled back over the weekend after intruders broke into his family home, but could return to Qatar if the circumstances are right. It is not expected that White will return to the tournament. Phillips could step up if Rice is out. Sky Sports News chief reporter Kaveh Salhakal. Declan Rice a key player for Gareth Southgate. The one thing I would say is that he's missing this training session with an illness, so maybe it is just something like flu, maybe he's just back in his room at the hotel. It doesn't look like a footballing injury. So if it is something like flu, you'd think he could recover well in time for the game against France. But Gareth Southgate does have strength and depth in that position. Calvin Phillips could come in if the worst came to worst and Declan Rice was missing. About a year ago, he was the England Player of the Year, and an ever-present for England at the Euros. Phillips hasn't played too much this time around in Qatar because Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham and Jordan Henderson have been playing so well. Mbappe absent for France training on Tuesday. France star Kylian Mbappe missed France's open training session on Tuesday, undergoing a separate recovery session instead. The PSG forward, who is the top scorer at the tournament with 5 goals, provides a major headache for England's defenders ahead of the last-day clash on Saturday. England assistant manager Steve Holland, who helped lead the Three Lions training session on Wednesday, says the France star is among a handful of players on the planet who need special attention. I think there are a handful of players on the planet that you need to consider special attention to, Holland said. Messi has been one and probably still is. You'd have to put Mbappe in that kind of category, I would suggest. We do need to look at trying to avoid leaving ourselves in situations where he is as devastating as we've all seen. We have to try to find a way of avoiding that. Trying to adapt your team to cover for that, while still trying to create your own problems, is I think the challenge. I would like to think we won't just be looking to stop a player, but we would be looking to try to do everything possible to limit his super strength, while still trying to focus on our own strengths, because we have good players. Players just as likely to cause France trouble as Mbappe would be to us. We have to find that balance.